Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing one of the biggest reviews I've done so far, and that would be the Haslab Cobra Rattler. Now I'm really excited about this. The Rattler has always been my favorite G.I. Joe plane, so now that I have the Haslab, I can't wait to get into this. So, roll that intro. So here it is in packaging. So far, I'm not a huge fan of this front art. I mean, I think it looks cool, but I've seen them do a lot better with a lot of these classified vehicles and what have you. So, yeah, I would have liked something a little bit better. I mean, it has a neat cartoon style look to it with them bombing an airfield, it looks like. So right here, you got your G.I. Joe classified, the batteries for it, age restriction, and Hasbro. Spinning around here. You got more of the original, the front art, where it's another one of the Rattlers bombing away. Like I said, I find this to be average art because I've seen them do a lot better. Like other things, I could imagine like the trouble bubbles behind it, or the claws, or maybe some, dragonflies in the background getting blown out of the air. So, this doesn't have the normal flair that most of your GI Joe vehicles have. So come back around to this side. This is the back here, and once again you have two Rattlers flying, doing a bombing run with nothing but smoke under them. All right, get a bunch of legal here. Oops. Bring it forward. On this side, now this looks pretty cool. You got one of your bombs with a skull and a nuclear explosion in it. And you have the wraparound of the Joe logo. All right, bring it around to the top. Ugh. This actually looks cool. I do like this. This is pretty basic, but it has a nice look to it. So you got airborne, you have the Cobra logo with the wings, Haslab up here. Then I guess you got your patches there. And last but not least, come around to the bottom of this thing. And now it tells you all the special features. So you get a nice, almost blueprint style picture of it. Everything that comes with it. All your weapons and what have you. You get a front view with the ladder. You got your patches again. And a little bit about it. So, with all that being said, let's open it up and see what it's about. So now we're going to take a look at each figure in packaging. So first up is Wild Weasel. Now, I like how they did the blend in this. So you got this red mechanical look fading down into the black. You have his name up top. You have his logo, G.I. Joe, Classified Series, Haslab, and Hasbro. You get this nice window so you can see him, all his accessories. Now, each figure is represented by a patch. So as you see here, he has the Cobra logo with the flying wings. And he also comes with the patch that matches. All right. Come around to the side here. You get this pretty good art. I like this art here. This looks really cool with him running with the broken glass. All right. And now on the back, you got part of the art. All three boxes are going to make one picture. On this side here, you got his stats, and it's basically the same picture from the other side. On the top here, you got the Haslab logo, Cobra Airborne logo, and his number. And then underneath you have, another Cobra logo as well. So now that we looked at him, next on our list is the Baroness. All right. I'm not going to go crazy with the whole rotation with these guys just because of the factor. For the most part, each packaging is pretty much the same. So you have this nice window where you can see her. She is the Tank Buster, so she has, or Tank Smasher. So she has her own patch here. All right. Come around to this side here. You get some pretty good artwork of her in a dash. I do like that. And now you got the back of the plane, as long with this side with a picture of her and her stats. Okay. And now next on our list is the Gunner, the Cobra Rattler Gunner. All right. And of course, he comes with his patch here, which is the Cobra Airborne 64, the Fly Swatter. All right. Obviously, a reference to the Dragonfly, so that's pretty neat. So you have two alternate heads for him. You can see it all through this clear plastic, which I like. You have his art as well. That looks pretty cool. So I've been liking this side art. The side art been looking pretty good. And you got the front. All right. You got his stats and his art as well. So as you can tell, I'm going to move this out of the way. You spin these characters around. Make up a picture of the Rattler, which is pretty cool. I do like that. I think these pictures, also go together as well. So if you want to display from the side, you got that art as well. So they came out with some pretty cool ideas for the packaging for these figures. So I do like the packaging for them. So first up is Wild Weasel. So let's start with his points of articulation. So the head does move. All right, you got a shoulder joint here, a little bit tight, but it does move. Your elbow joints and your wrist joint. Get this arm up. You do have some movement in the upper torso. Same with the lower torso. All right, you got a thigh joint with a swivel, a knee joint. You do have a swivel at the top of the boot. And of course, if I could get everything to move right, you also have an ankle joint. So everything seems to work pretty well on this guy. I don't have any issues with how his joints move. So now let's get a good look at him. So first up, I like the head sculpt. I like how he has these like 3 scars on this side. I think that looks really cool. You know, and the overall look to him, I think it's a well sculpted head. I even like the fade in his hair. So you got the lighter color underneath and you almost got like a dirty blonde on top. So I do like the overall look to his head. All right. And now you get down into his outfit here. So I like that they have like the jumpsuit on him. He has his iconic blue ascot as well. The pants, it looks like he has chops on because they're a darker color opposed to the upper part of his body that's a lighter red. So let's come around to this side here. You obviously got a pistol holder. Put the arm down. He has the Flying Cobra logo on his shoulder. Come around to the back. Nothing really that spectacular going on there. Then you have this side here. And when you bring the arm down, you can see Cobra Airborne. So overall, I think he's a pretty good looking figure. I do like his overall look. So now we're going to get into his accessories. So he has 2 helmets. So he has this one here, the broken glass on it. All right, now the helmet is a soft plastic. It's not like a hard plastic like your older Joe helmets are. It's a soft plastic, so that's pretty interesting. I'm wondering to see how well that's actually going to fit on him. All right. Next up is his other helmet, and this one is, a better helmet with the blast shield down and what have you. All right, you got your 2 respirator masks, so you got the clean one. All right. And then you got the dirty, beat up one. Okay. Next off, you have your respiration tube. and pack. All right. You have a pistol for him. If my fingers would work. There we go. Now, unfortunately, this pistol, you can't add any blast effects to it because it has a solid front, which is kind of a bummer. You know, just in case you ever wanted to, like, you know, have him like behind the plane shooting at Joe's or something, you can't do that with this pistol. All right. He has his iconic documents for his legs. So he has this one here. Let's spin it around so you can actually read the wording on it. All right. And of course his maps. All right. And if you don't want those on him, he has these little black straps that I'm dropping all over the place that can go in their place. All right. And the last one. So let's start looking at them and see how well this stuff works with them. So first off, I'm going to try these plain ones here. All right, so it just fits in just like that. Now, looking at one of them, let's get a good zoom up on this. You can see that there's a longer piece and a shorter spot. So that way you know which way they're supposed to go on there. So those fit on pretty easily. No issues with that. All right. Let's try these ones next. All right, so you got that one there. And this one here. Actually. All right, so those kind of sit on there. They feel a little loose though. But they do sit on there, just like they did with the original figure. Let's try his pistol next. All right. Ooh, his hands feel kind of hard. Like usually they're softer plastic, but it's neither here or there because the gun fits pretty well. Hopefully that hardness won't, you know, hinder putting his hands on any controllers in the cockpit. So we'll see that when we get there. All right. And of course, this slides right in here. All right, so the gun goes in the holster with no issues. This one popped off. You know what? I want to spin these around. Maybe they're supposed to go on like this. You can have them like that as well. Kind of like them like that a little bit better. They cover the legs a little bit better. So that might be the way they're meant to go. So now we're going to look at the two different helmets. So first off, we're going to do the beat up looking one. All right. Get that on. A matter of fact, let me see if I could get the visor, the front piece on first before putting it on him. Right. There we go. And that pops. All right. Let's get this here. That goes in there. All right. So there you go. There's the beat up helmet. Let's give that a quick rotation. So if you want them with the damaged helmet, you can do that, which is nice because the break in the glass is over the scar eye. I'm sure that's by design, but it does work. The respirator piece came out, slides back in, no issues. All right, so now let's try the other helmet. All right. Now these helmets are coming on and off pretty easily. Not having any issues with them. Like I said, they're still a softer plastic than your normal helmets. I don't know if that's going to be a new thing they're doing with these guys or whether it's specific to him. due to the way his helmet's designed, but let's get this one on. Okay. All right, well, this one's kind of bent in. All right. So you can display them without the lower piece, just in case you wanted to. Or I know, like in some jet movies, like military jet movies, they'll pull the mast piece to one side. So the way how they do this, you could probably do that with him as well. So put this strap on here like that. So if you kind of want it hanging off to the side, you could probably do that. You know, if you play with it for a minute. But let's get this mask back on him. Now, knowing me, this will probably be the one I'll probably keep on him just because I like the classic look. So, oops, that one fell off. So, as you can see, the helmet goes on very well. There we go. I don't have any real issues with any of his accessories. Get this thing back on. And what have you. So next up, we have the Baroness. Now, her points of articulation will probably be slightly different than Wild Weasel, so let's take a look at her. So first, the head does move. All right, get her off this stand. She has a shoulder joint with a swivel. Got an elbow joint and a wrist joint. Get this other arm up. She does have an upper dorsal joint as well and a lower dorsal joint. She has a hip joint with a swivel. All right, a knee joint and an ankle swivel. And she also has the boot swivel as well. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you right off the cuff is the holes for her feet are a lot smaller than Wild Weasel's. Oh, and before I put it on, she has a gold look under her boots for some reason. All right. So she doesn't sit all the way onto the peg. So when you lift it up, you can see that she kind of hovers there. So if you have something with smaller pegs, she'll probably work a little bit better with that. But for this case, she still stands pretty well. So first off, let's look at her head sculpt. I like this head sculpt. It looks really nice. I like the attention to her eyes and face. It looks really well. You can kind of see it from this side as well. And back around to this side too. Now, for the most part, there's not really that much spectacular about her outfit. So she has her flight jacket on. She has a harness that leads down to both of her pistol holsters and what have you. She does have padding around her neck. And it's weird. Like, the black almost has like a metallic silver look to it. So if you look at it in the right light, like of her actual jumpsuit, you can almost see like a metallic look to it. So I kind of like that. All right, bring her around this way here. You can see the side. Bring her arm down. She has the Flying Cobra logo on her shoulder there. Bring it around here. Not much going on with the back. Bring her around to this side. And you bring her shoulder down. And you can see that patch as well. And in this lighting, you can probably see that metallic look a little bit better to the arm. And even her leather gloves, if you look at it, there's a scaling to it. Make it look like more like real leather. The same with down here in her boots. If you look at her boots, you can see that scaling in her boot. So that's some real attention to detail. And I noticed with each of these figures, they're really trying to push these patches. So she has this patch. I'm assuming the Gunner will probably have the patch as well. And of course, Wild Weasel has, his iconic patch. So that's an overall look of her. Now let's start looking at her accessories. So first off, she comes with a helmet, which looks pretty cool. I do like that. She comes with two hairstyles. So she has her hair up in a bun. All right. And she has this hair too. This hair might actually work with the helmet. So we're going to take a look and see if that hairstyle works with the helmet. All right. She has a pair of headphones. All right. She has the mask piece for the helmet, the respirator piece. She has her, of course, iconic glasses. All right. She has this piece here. Now, this is supposed to go over the centerpiece if you don't have like the respirator piece hooked on. So if you want to display her without the mask on, you just put this piece in the middle. Matter of fact, I'll just do it right now. So that just sits on there like that. You get two pistols with almost like, I guess that's like a bronze look to the top of the pistol. Same with this one. And then, of course, last but not least, you have her iconic rifle. Now, this does have a hole for a blast effect. So I guess if you want to pose her into a shooting position, you can, because it does have the hole for the blast effect. And I like the scope night lights as well. Those look pretty cool. I like that. So now let's start seeing how well all this stuff works with her. So first off, let's put her iconic glasses on her, just to see how well they work with this particular head sculpt. Wonder if I gotta take the hair off first. Get that in there. Put the hair around it, I guess. So there you go. She has her iconic glasses on her. Yes, they are the right way. All right. I'm going to do the pistols next. All right. So we got one finger in there. And you got two. Now, her pistols also have holes for the blast effect. So, for some reason, at this moment, the only guns that don't have blast effect abilities is Wild Weasel's pistol, which is kind of weird. If you're going to give it to everybody else, you should give it to him too. But the pistols do work well in her hands. No issues there. Now let's put these in her holsters. These should probably go on pretty easily. Yep, barely an inconvenience. All right, next is the rifle. All right, so that fits in there good. The clip does come out. So for some reason, if you want to remove the clip, it is removable. And let's see if we could get her to hold this with two hands. We can. So as you can see, the rifle works well with her. No issues with that. All right. So now let's go looking through everything else. Put that over there. Take this off. So the headphones probably won't work with this hairstyle. So we're going to pull this hair off. All right. And we're going to go with the shorter hair here. If I can put it on right, because apparently I put it on backwards. All right. Get the glasses on her. Put that under there like that. And underneath this side here like this. All right, so the glasses do work with that head. And now you got your headphones. All right. Oops, glasses came off. Alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it the same way we did the other one. Put the glasses on first. Alright. Put the hair on next to hold the glasses in place. Alright, that's the front. Eventually. So lining all this up can be a bear. Alright. But when you play with it for a minute, there you go. Now you got her all set up with the headphones and the hair for that. So that all works very well. No issues with any of that. Now, for last but not least, her other hair and the helmet. So put that on there like that. Alright, so that works just like that with her. Put the helmet on. Oh, okay. I was hoping this hair would work with the helmet. The reason I was hoping for that was just because of the factor. I think it's going to look weird where you have the helmet but no hair behind it. But, so let's see how well the glasses work with this hair, which shouldn't be an issue. So there you go. Hair works well with this one. Probably your headphones will probably work well with this as well. Alright. So there you go. If you want her to have the headphones with this particular head, you could do that as well. So that works. Alright. And now we're going to do the actual helmet. We'll get all that off of her. Put the helmet on. Oh man, that's pretty tight. So unlike Wild Weasel's helmet that is like really soft, this one's a little bit hard and a little bit a pain to kind of work around her ears. You know. Alright, so there's that part. Put that on there like that. The mouthpiece in. And have that there. Alright. Back a little. So there she is with the helmet. Helmet looks good on her. I don't have any issues with it. It fits fine with her. So for the most part, everything seems to work pretty well with her. I don't have any issues with her accessories. So now last on our list is the Gunner. Now, his body is basically the same body as Wild Weasel. I mean, I could quickly go through points of articulation. It's all the same stuff as Wild Weasel's. It all moves pretty well. All right, you got the joint under here with the lower torso joint, your thigh joint with your swivel. All right, you got your knee joint, your ankle joint, and your swivel here. All right, so it all moves just the same. No issues with how his, joints move. All right. So now you get into his first head sculpt, which is a black man. And I do like with these figures, and I'll show the other head in a minute, that with the normal troopers, they give them multi-ethnic heads, so they could either be black or white. I do like that. That really leaves realm for diversity for the troops. So I do like that. So you could have them either way, whether you could have, mixed teams, all one race, all another one, or what have you. So I do like how they do that with their standard troops. And I do like this head sculpt. It looks pretty cool. I do like it. So his colors are basic trooper colors. So you got your blue on black. So everything that was a light red on Wild Weasel is a blue on him. The darker red is a black. So we spin them around this way. Get the look under there. And on this shoulder, you got your patch there because, you know, they have to have their identical patches to yours. Makes you feel like you're part of the team. And then you come around to this side here. Basically the same as Weasel, but blue. Come around here. Now he has 2 holsters opposed to 1. And you bring this arm down and you have your Cobra Airborne. So I'm liking the overall look to him. So now we're going to get into his different accessories. So here we go. Got your white head here with the iconic Cobra bandana over the face. All right. You got your helmet here with the double snakes on either side. All right. You got, where is it? The lower part of the helmet, which is a red. So it matches his bandana. So I do like that. All right. You got the leg pieces here, similar to Wild Weasel's, but he don't have the option of the booklet or the map. He just has these straps here that, you know, go over the holes. All right. Here's the respiration hose for his mask. He comes with 2 pistols. Now, like Wild Weasels, though, these pistols do not allow you to have any kind of blast effects on them. But if you really want them to have it, I'm sure it's just a simple drilling in with a small bit. If you really want to have those effects on these guys. Here's the other pistol. All right. And last but not least, he also comes with a rifle. All right. And this does have a hole for blast effects, so if you're going to use blast effects on this, you can. And the clip comes out. So now, let's see how all this works with them. So we're going to start with the pistols first. All right. Oops. If my hands would work. You got this one here. Like I said, these ones, they seem to have used a harder plastic than they normally do for their figures because these hands really feel very solid. All right, but they're soft enough to where you can still work the guns into their hands. So I do like that. Matter of fact, while we've got them here like this, let's put these straps in here. There's 1. There's 2. That under there like that. Let's take these pistols out. Put them in their holsters here. 1 and 2. All right. No. Stay. All right, so the straps and the pistols fit well, no issues. Now let's try to get this rifle to work with them, which I'm sure it is. Now this looks like to be a single-handed rifle, so you're probably not going to need to try to get them into a double hold with this. So there we go. Rifle fits fine in that hand, no issues. All right, so let's see how well all this gear works with this head. So we're going to put the helmet on, no issues. Actually, let's get these arms down. You look at him with just the helmet, he still looks pretty cool, just like that. With the bandana mask and the helmet. So I do like that look. All right. And this mask on him. So that fits pretty well. This arm over here. Cobra, Cobra, Cobra. There we go. All right. Oops. Get that to plug in there. All right. So that all works pretty well. And once again, his helmet's pretty much the same as Wild Weasel's, just a different paint job. So it works very well with this head. No issues. All right. Let's try the other head. Ah, that popped off pretty easily. All right. So that one is on. So that head is on there. Give it a quick look over. No issues with that. Get the helmet on them. All right. Close it up. All right. So there we go. So the helmet works just as well for him as the other head. So you could go either way with this figure, but overall, I do like the overall look to this guy. So now we're going to put this thing together. So first off, you have the main part of the fuselage here. All right. And we're going to hook the rear end of the fuselage onto it. All right. So you got this here. But before we do that, I'll put that over here. And we're going to hook everything together for this. So you got your two wings. So you got this side here and this side. All right, obviously the numbers are all on top. So that should just lock in just like that. No issues. Same with this one. Clicks into place. So now you have those two wings on. Got this back piece here. That clips in there with no issues. And now you have this side. So all that went together pretty well. No issues with any of that. All right. So now let's get this piece onto here. That should just lock in. All right, hold up. Okay. There we go. All right. Hope that ain't right. There it goes. All right. So now that part is locked in. No issues. And the two wings. So you got this wing here. Would help if I actually put it on the right way. No, that's the bottom. Yes, the engines do go on top. There we go. That one's locked into place. There we go. So now both wings, are connected. This thing's huge. Jeez. All right. We're gonna put this piece on next. This just pops in here. Just click. Eventually. You know what? Let's pop that off. There's that side. Right. All right, so there's a specific way This goes on there. That's the bigger one. So it looks like, as I drop it to the floor. So there's 3 tits on this. So you got this bigger one, medium one, and another medium one. So they line up with the holes that allow it to go in, and then it just slides into place. All right, and we'll put our dome back on. There we go. In fact, let's move this out just a hair so we can look at that dome on there. So the dome fits on pretty well, no issues. Now we're going to switch her around to the front here so we can put the cockpit together. Alright, so this piece just should pop in just like that. That pops in a little too easy. I'd like that to be a little bit more solid on there, but it is what it is. And that is on. Boom. Now you have your canopy on. So for the most part, this thing went together pretty easily. I didn't have any issues putting her together. So now we're also going to assemble the stand. So the stand goes together pretty easily. Get this here that locks into this. Hold up. Man, am I doing it on the right way? Stand instructions. There we go. So these lock together like that. And this goes on here like this. I guess it doesn't. There it goes. There we go. All right. So the stand goes together like that. And you got this top piece here that will sit on top of here as well. And then there's one more piece that goes to this. Oh, that's it. Says this is supposed to have 4 pegs. Oh, there's another piece that goes on there. That's why. Okay. Hold on. Haha, I knew I was missing something. Okay. So this just goes on here. Just clips in. Eventually, no wait. Yeah, it goes. Just gotta make sure everything lines up. Okay, what's not? There it goes. Alright, everything's in. There it is. And this goes on top here. And you can display it with it moving that way. Or spin it around this way. Depends how you want to display your Rattler. So now we're going to look at the lights. So first off, this takes 3 AA batteries. They sit in the belly of the plane. The button for the lights is here. Okay. So now there's 3 cycles of lights for this. So your first cycle here, as you can see, your dashboard lights up. Your controls all light up. Get this dome open. You can also see the targeting computer light up. And then you have the white lights on both front sides. All right. So now you bring it around to the second cycle. As you can see, now you have the red lights on this side. And on this side, you have no change in any of your cockpit lighting. Okay, and the same here. So no changes in the cockpit. And then you have your third cycle. All right. And that brings you to a complete red light. And on this side, now you do get a flashing yellow light in the cockpit. So when you look at the cockpit, you can see the flashing yellow lights. And that's the only change in it. These lights look really nice. I like the overall look to them. All right. Then back around to the front. So there's a lot of really cool attention to detailing to these lights. So now we're going to see how well these figures fit in their respective cockpits. So obviously in the front, we're going to put Wild Weasel in the driver's seat or the main cockpit. So spread his legs out, close them up. Make sure this harness piece is where it belongs. Okay. And put this over here. All right. Where's the dome? Here it is. That on there like that. Close that up. So he fits in there. No issues with him. Now we're going to use the gunner in the gunner seat, obviously. And we're going to put him in here. Alright, he seems to fit pretty well. This harness over his head. And the dome closes over him. No issues getting either of these guys in there. So, because the guys are the bigger figures, I'm sure the Baroness will fit in just as easily. Now remember, if you could get Wild Weasel into a spot, you can also get the Gunner into the same spot because they're basically the same figure. Or the Baroness might need to... Oh, let's get these guns out of there. I can see them being a problem. Alright. Get her into a sitting position. Alright, there we go. Alright, so she fits in, yeah, very easily. So, as you can see, all the figures fit well in this vehicle. Alright, so it took me a little bit, but I was able to get the 3-point harness on, and I was able to get both hands onto the throttle and the yoke. So, take a look over here. You can definitely see that hand is on the throttle. Rotate it this way. You can see that hand is on the yoke, and the 3-point harness is set. Now you come to the passenger side here. Her hand was easy to get on there, no issues. So as you can see, it's on there. Now the problem I had with her was getting this 3-point harness on her. I think the issue is she has a smaller frame, and because of that, it was hard to push the peg into the hole, because with the larger body, you can push it against the body and it's a lot tighter, so it pushes in easier. With the smaller frame, it's a little bit harder. But as you see, she's in there. Everything is on her proper and what have you. So now, due to the size of this thing, we're going to do the final part of this, here at my normal spot where I do the intros and what have you, just because it's too big for my workbench. So first off, let's try to get a rotation on this. So here you got the front. All right, bring her around to the side. Okay, so that's that side. Good look at the rear. All right. And then the other side. Here. All right, let's get a top view of it. All right, do it like this. And then bring her around to the bottom. All right. So now there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with this thing. All right. So first off, one of the things we all want to see with this is the wings rotate. Just like the cartoon and the original toy, we all wanted the wings to rotate. So they do. No issues with that. All right. The fans inside the engines do move. Same with this rear one.
Okay. Now, one of the cool things about this that they did different than the original is that the wings fold up. And I think that's really good with this one because of the fact that it'll make easy storage, probably even easy displays. So what happens is I'm going to hold her like this into the light. There are these two buttons here, 1 and 2. Now when you push that button, where is it? It pulls the wing out. And now this is important. You got to pull the wing out because if you don't, you run the risk of damaging it. And with this side here, button. Oh, there it goes. And when you do that, the wings are obviously loose. Oops. Landing gear went up a little bit. And then, boom, now you got it in a storage position. It is. There we go. So you can, store it like that. With these type of planes, the reason why these wings would fold up is so they can be easily stored on like an aircraft carrier or in a loaded docking bay and what have you. But mainly for aircraft carriers as far as I'm aware of. So now that we got those out of the way, we're going to straighten up this wing. We're going to pull this cover off. All right. So that opens up like that. Matter of fact, we'll do this one. We'll open this one up as well. Spin her around. Okay. Oops. And then you maneuver the engines into position. So when you open them up, you can see inside the engines. And there's a lot of really nice detail in here. I love all the detailing in the engines. That looks really cool. I really like that. That's a really neat effect that they really put that much work into it. And then these just close up. All right. Now, also, spin around here again. The turret does move. So you get movement, whole complete 360 of the turret. All right. The guns also move up and down. All right. The lid opens, obviously. Same with the cockpit. Cockpit lid, oops, pops off right now. There it goes. And that closes. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, next is the landing gear. So when you look at the landing gear, these close up like that. And then the front one comes forward. Now there's a release button here for the landing gear. Now while we're down here, also right here is where you put your batteries in. It's one screw. And like I said earlier, there are 3 AA batteries. This here is what's going to hook onto your stand. All right. So when I push this button, landing gear comes down. All right. So that's a nice feature. I like that. All right. And I accidentally hit the button to turn the lights on, but no issues with that because the lights are on a timer anyway. So matter of fact, while we got the lights here, go through the full, 3. And then the last one. So that's what they look like in a nice front view. So I like all that. All right. So now we're going to look at the gun. So the front gun, turn her back up this way here, does rotate. So it's like the original toy. So you got this piece here. You spin it. You get that ta-da-da-da sound. And it does spin. All right. So now that's all the basic play features with this. Now we're going to get into some of the more detail oriented. Now, with the front, bring this around. Got a couple of things going on here. So, first off, right here, you got a ladder that comes out and down. So if you want him to, exit the plane, or if you want to position him in a position to where he's climbing into the plane, you can. So that's a neat feature. I do like that a lot. Close that back up. This panel opens up, and as you can see, there's some lighting effects in there, and that's for, let me see if I can find it. Here we go. The damage panel. All right, put that over there. So now you could put this on here like this. And now you got your lights flashing in there, making it look like it's on fire and damage on the inside of the plane. So I do like that as well. That's really cool. That's a neat special effect. I do like that overall. All right. Put the normal panel back on. All right, next on our list is the service ladder. So this does come with a service ladder here. That just hooks on. You got a little nub right here for the ladder. And then that could go on like that. Matter of fact, we'll spin it around this way so we get a better look at it. So that will go on right here. Just like that. All right. And then, of course, it does it on the other side as well. So it works with both wings, which is really good. I like that. All right. Now the gun also has a blast effect for that as well. And that's these blue effects here. All right. So you come right here, just put it on. And now we're going to tilt it this way. You see that firing effect. And once again, if you want to spin the thing, you have it. Now they give you two, and I think that's because these can also be used for up here as well. Two. So you can also have blast effect on your turrets as well. All right. Now let's get into the missiles and bombs. So now the whole undercarriage of this thing is meant for missiles and bombs. All right. So right here, you have your missile racks. These are designed for your missiles to hook onto it. Matter of fact, let's see if I can take this off of here. Got these things falling all over the damn place. There we go. So there you go. You got all these. These are what the missiles attach to. I'm going to set that down for now. Got an array of different bombs and missiles. So right here, you have some of your bombs and you have your bomb racks. I'm sure a lot of us remember that from the original toy. Okay, put that stuff in there. You have some more bombs right here. All right. And then last but not least, you have the rest of your bombs, missiles, and smoke effects. I mean, blast effects. So here we go. We got all these right here. So now we're going to see how well all this works with this. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold these wings up. Come on. There we go. This one. And this one. And we're going to start putting some of this stuff on here. All right. So, here we go. Now, as far as I'm aware of, it doesn't say anything about any particular way they're supposed to go on. The backs go like that. Let me double check the directions. Right, yeah, so it goes like this. Where are these bomb racks? Bomb rack. Now, the neat thing about these is, for the most part, you can arrange them however you want. All right. False bomb. Just blew up half of my basement here. All right, there goes that. That's that one. All right, let's get one of each missiles here. Put that missile here. Now, one of the ways you could tell if you put these racks on right is the missiles have a small end and a big end. So the big end to the front of the missile, the small end is to the back of the missile. That one. And let's do one of these. All right. So now that rack of missiles are on. So I'm going to spin her around so you guys can see this. All right. So that's the standard bomb cluster and two of your main missiles. Now on this side, I'm going to set her up a little bit different. Just to showcase some of the other, oops, damn dyslexia. All right, those are all locked on. Put that over here for right now. All right. Now, got these here. Oh, goes the other way. That. We got our dirty bombs. Now these two I want to show you real quick because these look pretty neat. So they put some extra detail on these. So this one has that skull with the nuclear blast in it, which looks really cool. And this one got a warthog look to it. And then these ones here, you hear them rattling, they have shot in it. So I'm wondering if that's some sort of fragmenting bomb, like when it hits ground, it fragments, which is pretty nasty. All right. So now we're going to spin this around, and this is the other array of missiles. So you got the multi-missile shooter here. Matter of fact, I'll show you the other one so you get a good look at what one of these looks like. So you got that there. All right. That back. You have both of the two big bombs I just showed you and the shot bomb. So that's all the different types of missiles, bombs, and weapons that hook onto the wings. Now you do have underneath here, you also got spots here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how these clip on. All right, so I'm going to set this just like this. So this long piece goes forward. So you just clip that on just like that. You got one here, here, and here. And now you can hook any of your missiles or bombs onto this. All right, so if you want like one of these bombs on there for whatever reason, it should just hook on there just like that. And then you got your two missiles here. Bring that around. So you could hook one of these onto here like this. All right. And then this other style on here. All right. And then I guess let's just add one more of these. And like I said, you can arrange these however you want. You know, they're designed to be arranged in multiple ways. So there's the ones for the underbelly. Now I'm going to take the ones from here off because we're going to eventually put this on its stand next. Eventually, that comes off. There we go. All right. This over here. Put all that over there. That can go onto the floor. So now you have your stand. All right, and this is nice. It's a clear plastic on black. You have a little storage area for all your accessories in the back here. It opens up from the front, just like that. So all your spare pieces and anything you want to put in there, you can put in there, which is really nice. All right, and let's hook this bad boy on here. Get these landing gear up. And boom. Put your wings down. There we go. Look at that. That is nice. That looks really nice. I like how that looks. Let's look at it from the other side. All right. Now, of course, you can hook all your missiles, bombs, and accessories onto the sides here. You could do that. In here. This one. And I think that's all my loose ones. So as you can see, everything can hook onto the side here. Matter of fact, let me grab this bomb off of here. And put that on there. So there you go. So now you can see you can hook all your missiles, bombs, and what have you on either side of this. So whatever you don't have displayed on the jet, you could display underneath. Open this up. Some of this stuff in here. Side. So all this stuff fits really nicely in here. I like that. All the spare parts, all their weapons, everything fits nice in there. So I like that. Okay. Get rid of all this crap. Now you're saying, wait, is that it? Is that everything? No, because we still haven't got to the blast effects. So you have these ones here, and these are meant for your main missiles. All right. So, which are obviously on that side. What you do with this, take your missile, pull it off of here. Eventually. Well, the whole thing came off. Back up on there. Now what you do, this gets plugged into the missile, just like that, and there's a spot here. So you can actually put this on there like that, and it looks like the missile is actually shooting, which is really cool. I like that a lot. All right. You also got flame effects for the engines. That goes in there. That goes in here. And one for the rear engine. All right, so there you go. You got your engine flame effects. All right, you got your other missile one here. And then this looks like something that could just hook onto the back of any one of your missiles. Like, I guess. No. Oh, you know what? I know what this is. All right, so I was wrong. The blue ones do not hook onto the Gatling gun, like I showed earlier. This one is actually for the Gatling. There we go. All right, so there you go. So that one's for the Gatling gun. These are for the cannons. You got your 2 engines, actually 3. All right, and you also have your shooting missile effect. So a lot of really cool stuff with this. I like everything about it. Now, one more thing with this, if you want to, you can pull this off of here, set it down here, and then this rotates like this. So if you want them on a down shot, come on, baby. You're cooperating now. There it goes. So you can also have her on a downward approach, attacking any tanks or anything that, you know, G.I. Joe might be using from the ground and what have you. So that's everything with this. And overall, that's it. Okay, so now let's get into my final thoughts. I know this was a very long video, but there's a lot to talk about with this. There's a lot of things to show about this and what have you. So overall, everything fits well with it. I didn't have any issues getting any parts on, any parts off. The assembly of the jet went fine. I didn't have any issues with any of that. All the play features work well, like the turning of the wings, the doors for the engines, the ladder, and what have you. So everything was working fine. The figures look good. I like the overall look to the figures. Their joints move very well. All their accessories swapped out pretty good. I didn't have any issues with any of that as well. As for the figures fitting into the cockpit, excuse me, they fit very well into them. It's a little bit of a trick to get the hands onto the controllers just because they're really tight spaces, and I got big hands, so getting my big hands in there trying to work things, you know, was just a little bit harder. It was a little bit harder to get the seatbelt on her opposed to Wild Weasel, and I think that's just because she's a smaller frame, so it's harder to get that pressure to, you know, push on that seatbelt. But other than that, everything's great with this. I love the stand. I love the overall look to it. It captures that classic look that I really like about, you know, the Cobra Rattler and what have you. So this is a really great playset. I love this. So do I really need to say whether or not I recommend this? Obviously, I do. I do feel like I got my money's worth out of this. It's pretty much on the expensive side, obviously. But what you get, I feel, is worth it. Now, there's one more thing I haven't spoken about with this, and this is probably my only real disappointment, is it does come with stickers. And it comes with a lot of cool stickers. All right, so you got these stickers here. You got all these different Cobra stickers there. And then you got these optional stickers. Now, the reason why I say these are a disappointment, not because the stickers themselves are a disappointment, but they don't give you any directions on where to put them. Like some of it's obvious, like the Warthog, the, you know, Cobra wings and the snake head. But some of your smaller ones, you know, like some of these, I wouldn't know where to put them or what have you, or even if I want them on there. You know, obviously optional stuff. Same with on here. You know, you got all this as well. no danger signs, warning signs. But like I said, mine didn't come with directions for that. If yours did, please leave it in the comments. Maybe it's something they forgot to put with mine. But now that's the only disappointment with this. Other than that, this thing is great. I love it. It's going to look awesome with the rest of my Joe stuff. The only problem is, due to the size, it's going to be a little bit of a bear to figure out how I'm going to display it. But I will find a spot for this because this thing is just awesome. And I highly recommend getting this if you can. Unfortunately, you're going to get it on the secondhand market, and it's probably going to be twice as much as it was original. But maybe if you give it a little bit of time, maybe the price might come down. But this thing is definitely awesome. I love it. I think it was worth every cent that I got it for. So with that being said, I hope you guys did like this review. If you did, go ahead and check out my G.I. Joe playlist and hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.